he's got a knee. I don't know the severity of it. And then Max went into getting evaluated for a concussion there late in the game.
That's Jonathan Gannon after the game with the updates on Jonah Williams. We had Jonathan Gannon on the show earlier, and he gave us the same update on Jonah Williams. They haven't gotten the results of the medical back on him yet, so we'll see. As far as Max Melton, he still is in concussion protocol for the Arizona Cardinals. And while, as we welcome you back to the Burns and Gambo show, so much focus today has been on Marvin Harrison Jr., the 3 targets, the 1 catch, the 4 yards, his general overall lack of involvement in the game plan yesterday. Boy, he was not the only one. That rookie class for the Cardinals yesterday, you would have had to search far and wide to see an impact out of them in yesterday. Now, it's just one game. It's just the first game. So no one's going to overreact to how they were used or how little they were used. But, boy, it was kind of shocking to see how little they were all used in yesterday's game.
Especially Trey Benson.
Yes.
Because I thought a couple of his runs were good. Early on, he had a couple of runs that were pretty good. What do you have, 4 touches?
4 touches.
4 touches for Trey Benson. You know, I'd like to. They have a lot of offensive weapons, and I know everybody's got to eat, right? I get it, but I'd like to see him get more opportunities as well. Marvin Harrison Jr., as we know, didn't do very much. Max Melton went into concussion protocol, but you've got all the numbers right there. There's nobody from the rookie class that made an impact in this football game.
Marvin, and I want to thank, I lifted this tweet off of Johnny Venerable's Twitter account from PHNX. Marvin Harrison Jr. had 1 catch. Darius Robinson's obviously on the IR. Max Melton played 11 defensive snaps. Trey Benson had 4 touches. Isaiah Adams did not play. Tip Ryman had 20 offensive snaps, and Elijah Jones is on the IR. So 2 of those guys are hurt. They were unavailable to play. And look, Marvin Harrison Jr. is still going to be the bell cow of this list, right? He's going to be the one that your eyes just kind of go to because it's hard to believe that he had that little of an impact. But Max Melton, and look, I get it. Being a rookie corner in this league is hard. Tip Ryman was going to be the all-everything for the Cardinals offense in terms of that 12 personnel and that ability to be that second tight end. And again, it's early and nobody's going to draw any conclusions about any of these guys based off of this game.
No.
But given how much kind of how they were being, put on a pedestal to a certain extent, I think it's fair to say maybe we were expecting a little more out of this rookie class than what we got in week 1.
Yeah, especially Marvin Harrison Jr. I think all of us expected Marvin Harrison Jr. to go out there and have a great game. I'm not saying he was going to break Yanquan Bolden's record for first games by a rookie, because Bolden had like 200 and something yards against the Lions in his very first game. He was so dominant. But we expected him, to be an impact player, and that wasn't the case. Darius Robinson's on injured reserve, Elijah Jones on injured reserve, and Isaiah Adams didn't play. So now you're down to who can make an impact. The 2 guys most likely to make an impact to me were Max Melton and Trey Benson. But Max went out after playing 11 defensive snaps, concussion protocol, and Trey Benson only got to 4 touches. So we didn't see a lot with those guys. Maybe next week we'll see a little bit more. I would expect you'll see more out of all of those guys, especially if Melton can play. But I would even like to see Trey Benson get a few more touches and opportunities.
Yeah, I think the running back room is going to be real tricky, isn't it? I mean, it's going to be real tricky because you got James Conner back there, and you're going to want to feed him as much as you can. It's real tricky because Amari DiMercato has been a guy they've been talking about and he had a huge reception, if I remember right,
big play
in yesterday's game. And
20-something yards, I think.
I think they trust him a little bit more in pass protection than they do Trey Benson. So, like Benson, he might be the guy, as good as he was coming out of college and as much as there was expected of him, he might be the one guy out of that rookie class who's really going to have to earn it above all others. Not that they're all not going to have to earn it, but I just think he's trying to earn spots at a position where there are plenty of dudes that they like, plenty of dudes who do the job that they're looking for them to do, and Trey Benson's going to have to earn it, as opposed to like a Max Melton who almost has to play out of necessity, right? Like they need Max Melton to be out there. He was a second-round cornerback at a position where they're really thin. I don't know if the standard for him to get into a game, I don't know if it's as high as it is for Trey Benson because of where they are positionally at corner.
Yeah, but I don't think Trey, the one series he played in, it was when they scored a touchdown and they went up 17-3. They get the ball to 29-yard line. They throw it to him 5 yards. Then he runs it for 6 yards. Then a little bit later, he runs it for 4, and then they toss it to him again for 8 yards. There's your 4 touches. 4 touches and a total of, 11, like 23 yards, whatever it was. So like it was like that was pretty good. So I think that drive, it's like, okay, I think you can use him a little bit more, and I think he could end up being a guy that helps you a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know how it's going to work. So I'm trying to look up. I'm curious about DeMercado's.
He had that pass from a little loft pass from Tyler that was pretty good.
DeMercado was in for about 13 snaps. Trey Benson was in for about 8. So
Yeah,
DeMercado got about 5. Yeah, he did. He got 5 more than Trey Benson did offensively. And I mean, first of all, I think as long as Connor's healthy, I think Connor is going to get the vast, vast majority of those touches just because he's James Conner after what he did last year. I think there's a lot of trust in him to do the right thing. But after that, if it's like who's going to get the second most, I'm telling you, man, they really like Emari DeMercado. They really, really like
3
him.
carries, 13 yards, 4.3 yards per carry for Benson. Not bad. And then the 1 catch for 5 yards, like I mentioned. So, we'll see. I know DeMercado's a guy that they like, smart football player, good football IQ, got to be able to pick up blitzes, got to be able to, recognize blitzes, and maybe that's where Trey Benson's just going to need time to figure that all out.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.